Perfect. I guess, yeah, I guess that means it's my turn now. I will take over here. Let me just get my screen set up for you guys here. Now it's throwing me all the way back to everyone's favorite time, COVID period. I'm sure everyone loved that. Okay, so the screen. All right. I think it's working right now. Cool. Interrupt me if it does not work. And yeah, we're gonna have a lot of bit of fun here, guys. I kind of keep things pretty casual. I know you guys have had a pretty long school day, having to listen to the teacher, so I'm pretty easygoing. I have taught quite a bit myself, but I'm looking forward to teaching you guys. If you have any questions, like it was said, just put them in the chat, and I have no problems to interrupt and be able to answer your questions as we go along. So we're going to be talking about project management. And there's my name there, Martin Omes. Cool stuff right there. So I'll be talking to you guys about what is a project, what is considered maintenance, how to even get started on a project. Because reality, every single person can do a project. You guys are doing one now. You guys do one on a daily basis and how to get things going. So I'm helping to get you guys started, get some ideas flowing, and how to prepare yourself to hopefully get you guys some really awesome projects as well as help you guys in the future as well. So before I even get into anything here, guys, this is where I'm going to flex a little bit so you guys know I'm not just an old guy here just talking to you guys. So who am I? My first job is I work as a projects logistics, oh gosh, manager. I didn't update it for Gamers Outreach, which is an international charity. So funny enough, it was an idea we had in high school itself where we decided to build portable video gaming carts for children's hospitals. This was just a simple idea we had in high school, and now to the point we're in over 500 hospitals, and we have raised this almost about $10 million a year annually at this point. We work with some really cool people. I've gotten to work with celebrities such as Gal Gadot or The Rock. If any sport fans, guys like Christian McCaffrey, so I've really got some really cool ideas to go from there. So if you see it on the bottom right, just an example of some of the carts we built. I used to work with Oxygen Esports and Gaming, or the gaming team for the New England Patriots. I also work as an event manager, working in some of the biggest venues, such as Madison Square Garden, Barclays Center, New York, Staples Center, whatever the new name is over there, Air Canada Center, so on and so forth. So I've been putting on events for various things like at concerts or esports that have had anywhere from 1,000 to about 50,000 people attending. For fun on the side, I also commentate Ontario soccer and Canada soccer games. So if any of you guys play, if you make it to the finals, maybe I'll have a chance with you. Of course, I am a board member on the Halton Environmental Network. I do have my master's in the environmental field. It's a focus on education with a bunch of random stuff as sustainability, creativity, and innovation is what I did my master's in. I am also a licensed soccer goalie coach here in Ontario. And I'm also some little tidbits here. I am a reserve pilot for the Canadian bobsled team. So I just got back with training with the team at Whistler for the past month or so, getting them ready for the Olympics. So please make sure to check out the bobsled teams, men's and women's. The women's team looks really good. I'm really hoping they're going to medal at the Olympics, which start in just a couple days. And I also work with the Toronto FC team and many more stuff. In the past, though, as well, I worked as a project manager for the City of Toronto and the project section. I did put a link here on some of the stuff, what I did. So there's all my flexing for you guys right there. So I can at least try to say I know what I am talking about. All right, what are we going to learn here today? Sorry. What is project management? So I don't have to say project management 20 million times. I'm just going to say the word PM and why should we use it? What is considered a project? So what is the term project and what considers that? What are the main steps in PM and how do we apply them to our projects? What are our project charter and milestones? I like to call that your project Bible. And why should we use them? How to avoid problems and how to plan resolutions. And then how to finish your project and take the important lessons for our next projects. And I want to remind, I got someone who's got a hot mic right now. Just want to let you know. So check your mics. And at the end of the day, I want to know that everyone can do a project. Everyone does a project on a daily basis. It could be as simple as, hey, getting up in the morning and getting yourself to school. That is considered a project. How do you plan out your morning? You take your dog out. You get breakfast. How am I gonna get to school? That is considered a project. So in your head, it's a very short-term one, but it's something you guys have to plan and set sort of barriers. What time do I have to wake up to get there on time? Catch a bus. That is all coming in. So that's actually considered a project. There you go. So, what is project management and why should we use it? I'm going to give you as well a heads up. I am not going to read word for word on the slides. The slides is there for you guys' useful info. I will get sidetracked. I'll go on stories. So, if you don't want to listen to me, feel free to read the slides, but hopefully you guys listen enough that I can give you guys some really good, valuable information. I trust me, I had a lot of fun on PowerPoint. It's been a while, guys. I haven't got to use PowerPoint in a while, so let me deal with all the fun effects. So, project management is a set of processes, methods, skills, knowledge, and experience, blah, 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 blah. I pulled that from the dictionary. What does it really mean? Project management is the way we control our project from our ideas. So when you got it from your initial idea in the head, say, hey, you know what? I want to go to the movies this weekend. And then to the final delivery, which would be actually going to the movies. So what I will try to do is I'll give you the definitions and I'm going to try to simplify it as easy as possible because if I read that run-on sentence, even I might get fuzzled. What is that even saying? But why should we use it? So we want to control, of course, the scope, cost, and time to avoid problems on the way. I'm going to define what scope, cost, and time does mean for you guys. I'm just giving you guys an overview right now. And of course, to get ready for the problems, apply resolutions. So you're always trying to get yourself ready because whenever you're working on a project or a big event, nothing really ever goes according to plan. So you got to get yourself ready to be able to adapt and change and make some stuff and to get ready for what we really want at the very end for the price we can afford. So if your project is free, you want to make sure it stays free and try to get what you really want at the end of all your projects. All right, what is considered a project? What is the difference between project and maintenance? These are two very distinct terms. I want to make sure you guys, if there's one thing you guys should remember, I want you guys to remember, it's these terms right here. So, project is really a unique task with a beginning and an end. So, like we were saying before, it comes with an idea in your head. You're able to get onto it, and it finishes. So you have a conclusion at the end of the day. While maintenance is not unique and has no end. So, for example, maintenance is something that's just going to keep on going. So you finish your project, but there's also maintenance going on. Let's say, for an example, planting trees. You planted the trees, you coordinated, got all the trees to come, you planted them. Maintenance afterwards is your watering and caring for these trees afterwards. So they're going to have to get done once a week or once a month. Being able to care for them, watch the branches, control everything as it grows. So that would be considered the maintenance. And the project is the whole process of planting them. So what are our main steps in our PM and how do we apply them to our project? So got a little cool little graph for you. So 5 steps. This is where you're going to have to remember. This, again, take some notes here. This is a good one to write down. So those 5 steps right here in this circle. I'll explain in a second. So step number 1, initiation, getting everything started towards your planning. All right, you got that idea? Let's start planning it out. All right, delivery or execution. You can use varying terms here. Execution, so you got the idea, you planned it. All right, let's get this plan ongoing. But it goes in a circle here. Oh, why? Because this is where you get your monitoring and controlling. All right, now that you're getting this project to go, How's it going? Is it going the way you expected to? Do I have to make any changes? And this is where you get that little bit of a circle because maybe things aren't working. All right, maybe I'm going to have to get back to the drawing board and plan. And then your final step, if everything is to your satisfaction, is your closing. Closing is very important. If there's one thing I know, especially working with a lot of high school students, there's one step that a lot of people miss. It's the closing, and I'll explain why later on. So, what is a project charter? I brought this up at the beginning, and why should we use it? So, the project charter is what I said earlier. It's like the project Bible. It includes all of your information. So, it's your list of everything included in the project. So, when we're referring to the scope of the project, it basically means what is the whole project? What are you planning on doing? What is your objective? Why are we doing this project? All those fun things are going into effect there. So that is what's included in the scope. Who does what, when, who approves what, who pays for it. It does your who, when, what, everything. If you're working on projects, this will definitely help you if you don't know where to start. Write things down. Write what you do know, what you need to find out. Once you organize all your thoughts on a nice little page or something, or have it recorded voice note, it actually will help you being able to get through the steps. Okay, I got to do this, I got to do that. And especially if it's a month-long process, you might not remember a month later what you said you wanted to do at that time. So it's very helpful for yourself. Take notes, record, track everything. One thing I do want to highlight here on the end, if it is a group project, if some of you guys are working within a team, I believe some of you guys are working in groups here, all your team members have to understand what's in your project charter and acknowledge their role in the project. So who is doing what and who is doing it by when? So they understand, okay, this is what you're going to be doing. This is my role in the project. Okay, I'm doing the research. Make sure, and I'm going to be having it done by next week, Tuesday. They understand that and know that. Because very often what causes group projects to fail is one, nobody knows what they're doing, or you have two people doing the same thing, or nobody knows when you want to get it done by. And then you have that last minute panic where you have the night before and you're staying up to 3 and 4 in the morning. I imagine everybody's nodding their heads and remembering a group project where that has happened. I would hope. So, yeah, like I say, if project charter, it's your Bible, the project, whatever you want to call it, your most important document, whatever it is. So, what are milestones and why should we use them? So, you got that plan in your head, you're getting everything laid out. But how do you properly track how your project is going? So at the end of the day, every project, it's a journey, and sometimes it's much more fun to know what direction you're going to. When I'm sliding in a bobsled, I like to know I can make it towards the bottom. I like to know which direction and which way I'm turning my sled to get to the bottom. Because if I don't know, yeah, I'm not making it down. I'm really sorry. I'm not making it down, and that's going to be an absolute nightmare. But so your project milestones are essential points of progress. So they're able to figure out, okay, what's not going, what's working, and being able to figure that out on the way. So let's say using the example where you're researching, you're getting it done by next week, Tuesday. Tuesday comes, they're not done yet, but at least you set in that goal ahead of time to know, hey, that research wasn't done on Tuesday. Why did it not get done? How can we fix it? What needs to get done? Rather than waiting for when the project is due in another week and figuring it out there. So, setting deadlines, milestones of where you want to be on projects by certain dates and time will really help you lay everything out in a nice and easy foundation, but more importantly, help to de-stress you. So you figure out, okay, if I'm on track, I'm going to get this done by this day. I'm getting this done by this day, getting this done by this day. It's going to help you get towards that finish line much easier. And if things don't work, you're able to do it much earlier than obviously waiting until the final few seconds to get things done. So make sure to keep an eye on that. And if you have any questions, guys, of course, let me know. I think I'm going a little fast here, but I'll try to slow down. All right, let's do a project using those 5 steps. Hopefully, you guys remembered them. So, our first step again was initiation. So, what is the first thing you're going to have to do here? So, it would be create that project charter. All right, so I got that set up. What am I doing? Who's involved in my project? What is going to be done in the project? Is this project going to cost me any money? How much time is it going to take? Am I going to be doing this on time? You start laying out all of the details. Just get all the details fleshed out so you have a better understanding of what this project is and what are you even doing. Defining the scope, funding, and time. So your scope right there again, what is that project? Funding, how much time and time. Very important here again, how long is it going to take? Who is the owner and who is on the team? Very valuable thing here to talk about. I don't know. I'm trying to think if escape rooms, if any of you guys have done escape rooms here. Really cool idea sometimes when you go with a bunch of your friends, do a puzzle room, try to go for an hour, do a bunch of puzzles to try to escape and get out. Fun idea to do with your friends. Where a lot of groups struggle is to figure out who is going to be that one person to make the decisions because you have 3 or 4 people all arguing to get their idea heard, they get everything done, and you're losing time on communication when you could really get stuff done. So for team projects, I highly recommend this. Whoever has the idea, whoever gets the thing, have that one person in charge in a way. It doesn't mean that they're going to be bossing and saying, this is how it is, this is how it is. No, it's just they're the ones to make that final decision to decide, okay, we're going to go in this direction, we're going to go in that direction. You could conversate as a team, but if not, like I said, you're going to be spending the next 2, 3 hours arguing on who should do what, and there. Leverage the time, save yourself the stress, and organize who is doing what on your team. Planning. So this is your what, your when, your who, your how, and your how much. So we'll go through again that, and then you create your milestone controls. So that was earlier. All right, in a week we're going to get this done. 2 weeks we're going to have this done. 3 weeks we're going to have this done. And then, very important here, a risk management plan. So what that means is, okay, if we don't get this done in a week, what's our plan B? How are you going to get this done in time? A lot of projects fail because some people don't meet deadlines. How can we create a situation where we know ahead some of these problems and how we can avoid them or adapt and fix them later on? Your delivery, step number 3. Create your team. Is it just yourself? Team can also mean where if you're buying something, let's say you're buying trees, the team is including where you're getting the trees from, who are you coordinating with, your truck company, how are you getting them delivered. That is part of a team. So every single aspect of who is involved, get that planned in. Get whatever materials you need. So let's say we're going back to the trees. You need shovels, you need soil. Water's a good thing. You need people, you need bodies. So there's a lot of things to go into head on the material side. Create communication methods. Again, going back to how we were talking about that initiation, about the owner, how to get things communicated. How are you guys going to communicate as a group? I'm trying to think, what is a popular way? This is where I'm thinking I'm old here. I apologize. Maybe Snapchat. I'm trying to think. Somebody can type in and Christina can answer me. What do you guys how do you guys communicate? And let's say you have a group project. How do you guys talk with one another right now? WhatsApp maybe might be his thing. But yeah, you can drop that in if you want. But if not, I as well will keep going. But what I'm saying in this part, what tends to happen in a group project, let's say if you're in a Snapchat or an Instagram group, you go step away from your phone for an hour and a two, and if you're with your friends, you tend to get sidetracked a little bit, and you come back to your phone and you missed 50 messages, and then you're having to look through and try and see, okay, did I miss actually anything important? Set yourself communication tools. So, for example, I'm obviously in work and gaming side, so Discord's a great app for me where I can put announcements, important information, and separate my chats into various different categories to know that important information is not getting missed. So make sure, because if there is one thing that tends to happen, is somebody said, "Hey, I told you a week ago, I didn't see it. Oh, it was much earlier in our conversation." So try to, that's why project charter is very important sometimes. So if someone doesn't know, direct them into towards your document. Say the information is over here. That is very important for you guys because if there is going to be any issues or problems, it tends to happen here. And then obviously you go from task to task to task. Once you have it all fleshed out on your milestones, it makes things very easier. Like if I get myself, a teacher gave me a whole entire essay or a project, it gets kind of intimidating in a way where it's like, oh my gosh, I have so much I need to do. How am I going to get everything done? Well, with those milestones, it's going to help you get on the step of the way. Oh, I just got to do this. Okay, I got that done. All right, let's do the next step. So it kind of helps you like when you're on a staircase, getting up to the very top. It just makes things a lot easier. Your control. So as the project's going on, check your milestones on the way. Did I reach my goals here, my short term and my long term goals? Did I get this done in time? Did everyone else get this stuff done? All right, why not? How can we fix it? Let's adjust these milestones. Apply those risk management. So, like I was saying, adjust them, figure out what needs to get done and what needs to change so you're not panicking in the last minute. You make changes as required, trust me. Especially working with the government, nothing goes to plan. There are many, many changes that always go into an effect and things that might be out of your control. So be able to be on your toes and think openly that changes can happen. All right. Step number 5. So what I've noticed, a lot of people deliver this first part really good. But if I look at projects normally, they always miss this end part here. So you delivered your final goal. My project is completed. Cool. Great job. But you have to make sure you close all your payments, warranty tests, make sure everything is completed and documented. So if you did do any payments, make sure everything is gone because what can happen? You pass on your project to somebody else. If it's an ongoing one, they don't know where everything is. Or last thing you need is something coming up to where, oh, I am overdue, I am missing something, or I didn't get it. Make sure everything has been completed. You know wherever your documents is, so save it in a folder so you know where you can find it later. And then, most importantly, here, this is the one thing I see people miss. Create your lessons learned for others. What I mean for lesson learned is, all right, I just finished my project. I got things how I got it, it went pretty well. But what didn't work? Why did we have to change these milestones? What can I do to improve on it so it doesn't happen on the next time? This is how you get really good at project management and being able to do more in your projects, being able to take your lessons that you have learned in your project, and then you can bring them to your future projects in the later. So, your areas of focus, your risk management. I'm going to highlight this a little bit. How to avoid the obvious mistakes. This one usually gets a lot of laughs from the teachers, so I will do my best here to do it. So, for example, let's say our project is we want to make a swing on our new tree. That's it. I just want to put a swing on a tree, and this is what happens though. If you don't explain exactly, go into detail, if you just say, hey, I want to build a swing on a tree, this is what tends to happen. I'm going to go through each of the ones here and explain it a little further, but hopefully you guys find a little bit of a laugh on this comic here. So, yeah, I want to put a swing on a tree. So, for example, the first one, how the customer explained it. So I'm the customer, I explained it. Swing on a tree. Okay, well, you didn't define. Yeah, okay, you got to swing on a tree. You didn't define where on the branch, how many levels Do you want three people? I don't know why this would work, but it's a swing. It's a swing on a tree. There you go. Done. It's just not a very useful one. How the project leader understood it. So let's just say I told to somebody else, okay, I put a swing on the tree. But you didn't say I need to be able to swing on the tree. It seems like something obvious, but you got to add that little detail to it. How the engineer decided.
Martin.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Juliana just asked if you could go back a slide.
Sure, no problem. All right, go ahead. All this will be recorded, and I probably will be able to pass this on. But yeah, there you go. Thank you for letting me know. No problem. If you guys do have any questions, oh gosh, I missed a lot in the chat here, so I apologize for that. But I will definitely go through all your questions at the very end. I'll make sure to go through every single one. I will stay later if I have to, so don't worry. Hopefully, if not, we'll move on in just a second here. Hopefully, all good. I can always take a screen capture of that, but I will have the presentation. I'll send this over towards Sundus, and then if needed, you guys can go over this as well. Cool. Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, thank you. All right, let's catch myself up back here. So, how the engineer designed it. Well, okay, you got a swing on a tree. All right, it's moving. You said you want it moving. Well, really, how useful is this tree here, and how useful is your swinging going to be if you know any engineers? Programmers, this is again a little joke here. Okay, programmer, they typed it in. Okay, swing on a tree. You got to swing, it's tied to the tree. Done. How the sales executive described it. Well, let's see if you've seen any car commercial or anything like the new phone. Look at this brand new pizzazz looking phone with all these new camera features and everything. I just wanted to swing on a tree. I don't need the absolute luxury of a chair, heated seats, cup holders. Well, if you guys want that, feel free. But that's what tends to happen when you try to sell it to someone. They're gonna always try to get you, oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you add that? Let's soup it up, make it a little bit cooler. How the project was documented. It seems simple. Swing on a tree. Well, as you can see, completely bare of information. Not really done anything. How operations installed it. 20 for me there. Okay, yeah, I put a rope on a tree. Again, simple as that. How the customer was billed. Well, that's like trying to get Instagram or anything here. I'm going ahead here. Customer was billed. You got a fancy little roller coaster. A lot of information. It cost a lot more than what you were hoping to at the end of it if you don't document it properly and plan things out. Because if you get lost, you might just start buying things without having the knowledge. How the help desk supported it. So, sorry, I got ahead of myself there. If any of you guys ever dealt with Instagram support, Snapchat support, Amazon support, very useful. Let me tell you, very useful. They're just going to say, oh, refer to those comments or chat to our AI chat desk, see if that can help. Really useful, folks. But at the end of the day, what you really wanted, there you go. You got a tire. Very cool. A little bit, that's pretty cool. And just a swing tree back and forth. There you go. You got it done. Hopefully you guys had a little bit of fun with that one. So I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because I kind of talked about this already, but here's just an example. I'll let you guys be able to do this on yourselves later on, so I will go quickly. So here's an example right here. Let's do that tree planting project I mentioned a little bit. So your initiation, let's just say, all right, we want to plant 100 trees by the school. We're going to be doing it. We have 82 students plus 4 teachers. Cool for this one. It's going to be grade 12 students. So what's going to be our cost? Well, we're going to need some tools to plant these trees. So we got to get those materials sorted out. So we got to figure out how much that's going to cost. Oh, how are we going to get these trees? They are donated into that. Do we want to involve the public or do we just want to have it in-house, just with the students at the school? Do we want parents to help out? Do we want brothers and sisters, other grades? That's going to be a question for later on. Planning. When are we going to have this tree planted? In 3 weeks on a Monday. Cool. All students, if you don't want to have costs associated, don't have it, you can tell students, all right, bring your lunch like always and bring your own shovel. Good luck. Good luck with that if that's going to be your plan. But you know what? If you have That could be one of your ideas. Make sure to bring shovels for everyone else. And you got to figure out who does what, where, and when. So figuring out, all right, what time are these trees arriving at? Who's going to be unloading the trees? Who's going to be in charge of planting the trees? Who's going to decide where these trees are planted? How are we going to plant these trees? Um, Trying to think, how are these trees going to get carried? What kind of materials do we need to do once we plant those trees? How are they going to be documented? A lot of stuff to consider. So planning, planning, planning. That's like 70% of your whole project right here, honestly, folks. It's just in the planning phase. Once you get that planning phase all phased out, everything else is just butter. Risk management. Well, that would suck. What would happen if it rains? Do we have a plan B? Do we have another day we could possibly do this in? Are we able to involve all the students again? If that happens, those are some of the things to consider if it does. And then create your milestones on the way. So if you have 3 weeks from now, what can you do to prepare yourself in those 3 weeks to get everybody ready to have everyone understand what they're doing and who is doing what when that day comes? Delivery. Well, of course, on the day of, all right, you got the trees and you're unloading them. Cool. You're sorting and prepping them. So you got a sorting and prepping team. That is very important in this case. So you don't have all 82 students going to the truck and voting them one on one. Probably good if you have a portion of them working on the sorting, unloading them. They might be different sized trees, so trying to plan out who's doing what and planning on that. So you have a planting team. Who's going to be planting them? Your supervisors most likely will be your four teachers, most likely, and your cleaning crew. So your planting is going, but it's going to leave a huge mess. You got soils all over, bags, loose branches. You got to make sure you clean up after yourself. So make sure to have people ready for that. All right, control. What are some possible problems that's going to happen here? Well, my first thing that came in my head, we got four teachers chasing 82 students. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. I know some of you guys. You guys gonna have fun, goof off a little bit, or have fun chatting with friends, or sometimes try to struggle to find any supervisors to know. Sometimes I'll be like, "Hey, I don't know what I'm doing." So you gotta make sure you have that set up ahead of time. You plan your milestones, figuring out, okay, how are things going? Are we on the right track? Are we falling behind? Are we gonna plant all the trees in time by the end of the day? Stuff like that. So you want to check in your progress every hour and apply solutions. Now, this last thing I thought of was, I was trying to think about when I was doing projects back in high school. I thought, well, you know what? Planting trees for a whole day doesn't sound like the most fun at all. If I had a little bit of motivation, that might help. Lunchtime. Can we order some pizzas for all the students? If you do well, you got pizza. All right, so we don't have to worry about lunch. Cool, we got pizza to look forward to. We got sandwiches, something like that to look forward to. And then, of course, you make changes as necessary. If somebody isn't doing good at their area or doesn't like what they're doing, switching them out with somebody else. So always have to be on task to figure out what's going on. So you're closing, count all the trees. Okay, you got 100 trees. We have 100 trees here. Good. We planted all of them. Everything's put in. You fixed the crooked trees, put them in place. You cleaned it afterwards. Took pictures and documented where these trees are. So you know, okay, which ones are what. We have 10 cherry trees, 10 apple trees. So you know which ones are the cherry trees, which one are the apple trees. Make sure to have that one doing. Counting all the tools afterwards. So if somebody was cool and brought 5 shovels, making sure that they get their 5 shovels back. Very important. How many times, let's say the one guy who brings a tennis ball to the school, or 2 tennis balls, or someone borrows their pens and they don't get it back. They're going to remember that, unfortunately. And then you have a post meeting to talk about it, or sending a form out to everyone involved, having them fill it out. This is very important to know because as a project leader, you can't have eyes on everything at the same time. There's going to be a lot of things that happen that you don't see. So if you don't take the time to talk to, I'm not saying to talk to every single person, but to get feedback from every person, you might have missed some things that they thought would be obvious, or they saw that happened, but you didn't see it. This can really help you. So, like I'm suggesting here in your closing, this is a highlight one. So if your project doesn't work, talk with your group, talk with other people who get involved in your projects. So let's say you're involving students at your school, get their feedback. Feedback is very important. All right, so I'm just like I said, I'm gonna quickly go through here. I mean, it's just gonna skip this because I talked through all this point. So, but I'm just gonna add the end on the class. What did we learn? What could we do differently? What worked and what didn't work? And what did we forget? So, at the end of the day, you're closing. You report your final project performance, the resources, the final performance of the projects. Your team members, make sure to highlight that because some people might be holding the weight for others. Make sure that's going. Supporters, every single person is involved. So in this tree planting one, the people who delivered the pizza, did they deliver the pizza on time? Did people have to wait half an hour to get their pizza? How did they do? Would you want them again? How is the tree delivery process? Did they arrive on time? Were they helpful? So this is all the type of stuff to always consider at the end. So what could have been done? Who can be involved and how can you change it? So communication and as well evaluation on yourself. Was I a good leader? So funny one here. We did it my way on the bottom right corner. So, but was your way the right way? Could you have done it any little bit better? So your lessons learned, very important right there. So your project and the PM. So again, what is your project closure? So successful completion of the project and how can you change it for future one? What went perfect, what went wrong, and how to do it right. And then I highlighted at the end. Again, very important here. Input collected from all of the participants. Very, very helpful. All right. Any questions? Like I said, I had a lot of fun working with PowerPoint again. It's been a while, so yeah, there we go. And then I have some information on myself. You could check it out, Gamers Outreach or the Halton Environmental Network. You could probably find me quite easily if you looked me up. So if you do have any questions, shoot me a note right there. And there we go. There's my presentation right there. So I'll leave myself open so I can see the chat now and be able to start getting to some of your questions if you do have any. Slideshow later. I'm going to put it in. I imagine Sundays will distribute it. Yeah, so going through, yeah, Gmail, Snapchat, iMessages. So hopefully you guys understand my point. Discord I use personally, helps you going through. So I saw one person do it. So that's really good. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much. But yeah, like I said, I am more than happy. If you need advice on any of your projects or anything that, let me know. My Discord, I have an OG username actually, so I can just type that in the chat. There we go. So yeah, I've been an old one on one of the people in there, so that is one right there. If you think your ideas need improving, oh, that's a very good question. How do you suggest pivoting? All right, so this is going to depend, obviously, if you're working by yourself or with your others. So if you're working by yourself in this suggestion right here, I would start to look at, okay, why do I need improve? What needs improvement? Which aspect? So then you start going through your steps of projects and the milestones that you set yourself earlier. Was this step not the result I was looking for? So you start to just analyze yourself and start to lay it out and think, okay, you know what? This didn't work out for me. Let's try a different option. Don't be afraid. Yes, it might take you more time, but if you do two different ways and get it done, that might be good. When it does mean in a group ones, honestly, that's where we could go back. I'm gonna highlight it. Communication, communication, communication. Talk with your team. Don't be afraid. Yes, sometimes you guys are friends. So sometimes it's very difficult working with friends because you don't want to hurt your feelings. But sometimes it's better to hear what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. You got to understand the difference of what you need to and want to hear. What you need to hear is like, you know what, this isn't good. We need to get it better. Let's work together. So don't, when you're communicating this, say it in a very positive manner. Don't say like, hey, this sucks. This is not going to be good. Say, you know what? Hey, I think we could do a little bit better on this. Let's work together and see how we can find a solution to get it to the final place. So if they feel that collaboration, feel that you're actually helping them and you're uplifting them, that will definitely help. One of the worst things you can do is put down someone else's work. It makes them feel negative and makes them feel down on themselves that they would want to continue to get involved and speak up later on. What if your project is an app and you have to organize a cleanup and you're working on your own? Oh, there you go. A lot of people like this one. All right. So if you're working on an app and you have to organize a cleanup through the app. Oh, like you're trying to organize a like garbage cleanup of an area. I just want to make sure I understand correctly if that is yes. Okay, cool. All right. So you have to organize a cleanup and you're working on your own. So, what exactly are you asking in this question here? If you're working on your own, what are you asking me here? I just want to make sure I'm answering it correctly. Gosh. So, like, are you trying to? Oh, how do you promote it? Okay, cool. How do you promote it? Well, obviously, your best suggestion would be getting friends and family to get involved there, utilizing your schools. So, trying to figure out, okay, the easiest way, how do things get promoted at your school? Could it be school announcements? Is getting your information out there on the school announcements, is that going to be important? Talking to a couple important teachers, clubs, groups. So student council, I don't know if they're again, this is where I'm aging myself a little bit. They can help promote it towards if you talk to them. So it's communication, talking to people and finding how information. How do you find out when there's picture day at your school? Newsletters could happen in the school, important announcements, information starting from there. So if your objective is trying to get it to where you're getting people in your school, that's from best way. Public wise, it's the same thing as here, getting it through your local channels. So if you want to get the city of Oakville or city of Milton, wherever you're located involved, go straight towards the community centers, libraries, getting them in, telling them, hey, this is the event we got going on, and then they will help to promote your event as well. Again, it's just on the level of how big you're trying to get it. My advice would be if it's you're doing a first project and you're trying to organize a cleanup, don't go too big. That's one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of people making, especially if let's say they're doing a cleanup. If you do something so big and you involve, let's say, 50 people, you're going to get some disorganization. You've never done it before. You're going to have some issues that pop up. Some people might not show up. Some people do. Some people might not doing it properly. If you do it like 5 to 10 people, you're able to do something small so you can see all the problems that do happen. So when you do expand it to more and more people, you have taken those lessons learned and you know what to expect and be ready for it when more people come. Because one of the big things to focus on when you are doing a cleanup is keeping everybody interested. Everybody understands the task. But if somebody comes once and they didn't really enjoy it or didn't feel like they had involved or didn't do it, they probably might not come back again. So my suggestion would be do, I don't know, focus group. Do it small, get it set up, do it with family and friends, see how they thought about it, see if they enjoyed it. Did they like what you prepared and set up for on the app? Did everything work from there? Then I would suggest after family and friends, then start to involve other members of your school and public from there. Hopefully, I answered your question as best as I could. If you have any more, let me know. But yeah, very good question there. Awesome. Anything else? Don't be shy. I'm very easy going. Oh, there you go. I got a couple of you guys. All right, there you go. So yeah, if you have any questions that you can message me on there as well. I'm not going to do it for you, but I'm happy to provide suggestions. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. It's obviously a little bit different from school. I try to keep every, like I said, this is how I teach normally. I wish I don't do classrooms anymore, but I'm kind of casual. I kind of keep things. I want to make sure you guys are involved and not be afraid to want to speak up. So even if it feels like a silly question, feel free. But otherwise, Anything else that I'm missing, Christina?
Nope, I think you've answered all the questions so far.
Beautiful. All right, so I guess people are free to go. If not, you can hang around. If you want to talk to me on voice, even if you don't feel comfortable typing, more than happy to help that as well. But thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as well, if you didn't enjoy it, I don't mind. You guys can tell me that too. I'm okay with that. I can take it. But I really hope you guys took in some important information and took some of the notes. Thank you guys. Am I the first one to go? I might be the first. Am I the first presentation?
Yeah, you're the first webinar.
Okay. Well, you know what? Hopefully I can get everyone else has a bar right now. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it
Thank
it
you.
was great.
Awesome. All right, there we go. Thank you guys. Thank you. I appreciate y'all.